Hey everybody, welcome to Getting Stoked. Want to jump in real quick and tell everyone how you can connect with the show. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for constant updates, events, and whatever ramblings and going on I might be involved with. I always want to connect with listeners and be as accessible as possible. So if you're interested in coming on the show, or maybe you just want to shoot the shit, hit me up at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com or any of the aforementioned social media websites. Always feel free to send me links to your music, and if I'm into it, I'll hit you back. You guys are everything to me, and it really means the world that anyone listens, so thank you so fucking much. Enough with the chuffa, let's get on with the show. Boom. Okay, so real quick, I want to mention before we get into the guests and everything, I apologize for my voice. I'm feeling a little slightly under the weather. I sound a lot worse than I feel, so don't have to worry about me. I'm okay. Thank you for your interest. Anyway, so on the podcast, we have the wonderful Frequency Within. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I want to do a round around the table, starting on my left, and kind of give everyone acquainted with voices.
Okay, hi, this is Jenna, and I play guitar in Frequency Within.
Hi, I'm Jeanette, and I play drums in Frequency Within.
Hey guys, this is Erica. I sing lead vocals and I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Olli Navarro and I play bass.
Oh, look at that. Just like that, guys. Hi, welcome to my home.
Up?
Thanks for having us.
Pretend like we haven't been spending the last 3 hours
I know,
together.
for real, right?
So basically, for the story of Frequency Within, let's narrate this together. We've had some margaritas, guys. Just letting everyone know.
Yeah, we did.
I had
beer at the
coffee.
table. So just letting everyone know.
It's like
right
2
now.
o'clock right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 2 o'clock
Nobody
now.
needs to know that.
We
Whatever
started
time it is where
drinking
you're at.
11:45.
We're on tour. We're allowed to drink in the morning.
So the story, can you turn my mic down a little bit on 3? Thank you. Perfect. That's awesome. Okay, so the Frequency Within story, as far as I know it, starts with Golly Gee Whiz, which is what we have to start talking about first, because we got to do this the James Lipton way from the beginning.
Okay.
So we don't have to start talking about the beginning of Golly Gee Whiz, but I do want to talk about. So I met Frequency Within when Jenna knew the singer of Phantom Party beforehand, and Josh too, because they were both, or Josh and Austin both, because they were in semester review, and they hooked us up with some shows out in California when we first started being a band, and we became friends with them, and we got to see their band Golly Gee Whiz perform every night, and that was so much fun. Like, I would sit and write these like angsty things in my little tour diary and whatever, and I would over hyperbolize everything, and like, this is my life, the road is my teacher, but all this like really sappy stuff. And I would love listening to them every single night. And then from my perspective, you lost your drummer who went to Berkeley.
Yeah, in Boston.
Okay, yeah. So went to Berkeley, and then it was like nothing for a while.
No,
and then it
actually,
changed. What happened? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Actually, that like everything just happened perfectly, which is really weird because we had so much like going uphill with Golly Gee Whiz that it was just constantly like fighting, trying to get stuff done. Like nothing with us, we always got along, but just with like drummers and just getting things done. And he told us already that he was applying, he just didn't know if he'd get in, and we found out that he got in, and it was like the summer, and we're like, damn, he's gonna leave, and we're gonna have to deal with this, and it's gonna suck.
It was bittersweet too.
Yeah, but obviously we're happy.
Yeah, we wanted him to go. We were like, do it, dude. You got this. Like, you're a badass. Go be a badass in Berkeley.
Exactly. So at the time, we're like, okay, since he's leaving, we're just going to revamp everything, and we want to be, something new. And we're like, but we're going to have to find a drummer. And we're like, I don't want to deal with this. And literally, that's when Jeanette just, like, came into
our lives.
You can talk about it, Jeanette, because...
Okay, I love telling this story because it was like it was meant to be in the stars. I had at the time got out of a band, an all-girl pop band called Apocalyptic, and
That's awesome,
right? It's pretty epic. It sounds metal, but it really wasn't. But for multiple reasons, things didn't work out, and I was really sad because I'm a performer at heart, all of my life, pretty much. And I was searching drastically for a new project, a new band, something serious. And I came across a promoting company called OCML which Jenna was a part of. And I just saw her picture. Like, she was one of the people that was following that. And I saw her picture. And I was like, ooh, it's a girl guitarist. And I'm so, like, girl power. I want to be in the girl community and, like, women, you know, women first, all that. And I followed her, and I looked up her band. I saw her band, Golly Gee Whiz. And I noticed, unfortunately, they did have a drummer. So that, you know, what I saw. And I was like, you know what?
Guy too.
Yeah, I was like, it's a dude. Why are they playing with a dude? So I just decided, you know what the hell? I'm just going to message them anyways. And I said, you guys would look better with a chick drummer.
and she sent that like as a personal message, like to me.
As a personal message.
Like not to the band page, nothing like that. No, she sent it to me. And I remember, I don't know where I was, but I looked at my phone and I was like, who is this? Like, telling me this. But then my next thought immediately was like, well, we are looking for a drummer. So I texted her back. I asked her like 10,000 questions because, you know, Erica's she used to work in the drum department at like Guitar Center. Like, so she knows all this stuff. And we've had such bad luck previously.
I am the expert.
And so I was
am the drum expert.
Yeah, I was like, she's going to ask these questions. And then I remember asking Jeanette all these questions. I don't know anything about drums. I'm just like, well, what kind of kit do you have? Like, you know,
so, well,
how long
Jenna,
have you been playing?
Jenna like runs it by me. She's like, Erica, okay, first off, this chick hit me up, and I'm like, oh god,
but I show her the messages,
and she shows me the messages, and the first thing I see is like, you guys would look better with the chick drummer. I'm like, this bitch, and I'm like, oh hell no, she better like have stuff to back it up. So I told Jenna, like, okay, ask her these questions: what kind of kit you have, because that shows how much you invest into your music. Like, I'm not a gear snob, but it's just we were looking for somebody who had invested into themselves. And she's like, oh, she has DW. And I'm like,
well, no, she said she had 3 kits.
Oh, she had 3 kits. And then I asked her, because I'm like, are they 3 shitty kits? Or are they like, you know, amazing? The first thing that comes out of Jenna's mouth, oh, one's a DW. I was like, which one? And she shows me. I'm like, oh my God, that's my dream kit. And then she tells me she has a bachelor's in performance. And that's what did it for me. I was like, she has a doctorate in performance. Obviously, I had misinformation on that. So she comes to our house, and I'm like, oh, here comes Dr. Music, you know.
Oh my God.
And from there, the chemistry was just amazing.
Like we asked her to come in for like I don't say it's a tryout, but like just come in, play with us.
Yeah,
it definitely was a
rehearsal.
We'll see what stuff's going on. We sent her, I think, like 1 track from our old stuff, and we said it's all going to be new stuff. We're changing everything, you know. We're changing our music. We might keep a couple songs, but it's really something new that we're willing to run with, and we want somebody that's in it like for the long haul, like.
They're forever home.
Yeah. She's a lost animal.
She's a shelter. She was in a shelter, and we took her in, and now she has a forever home.
Yeah, but anyway, she like came in. I remember her bringing. I think you brought your kit. You brought your Gretsch kit.
It was a Gretsch.
Because we were.
Kit.
Yep, the
we were in a
Catalina
room in the house that we're in now, and it was just like really small. So like she comes in, she sets up her stuff. We have our stuff set up already, and we just like start playing together. And you can talk about your experience walking in, Jeanette.
I mean, I was a little scared at first because, like, I don't know these people. And, like, are they going to jack my stuff? Or are they going to, like... But I was like, well, they're girls. I mean, it's girls. I think I'm okay. It's like one guy.
Girls are way more methodical. They're not just
they're not going to take your shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right? Like, as a musician, you have to think about these things when you're going into a new gig you know nothing about.
Totally.
So I mean, I'm in the middle of Orange. I'm not anywhere near Orange. I'm a little far away. So it was quite a drive, and to be there out there by myself, it was a little scary.
When Alicia, my girlfriend, and I went out to stay with you, and you were gracious enough to let us use your home to crash, I got a text message like, "Don't walk on her grass," because I guess there's
That's from me.
Yeah. Because I guess you had like man-killing ants or something like that.
Man.
Yeah, they like picked Erica up one time. And just like,
Yeah, it took me away. No,
Yeah.
I was standing.
Damn red ants,
I was standing in her grass for a long amount of time, and I was talking to them.
You're
Then
standing with Jeanette.
I got into the car, and I looked down, and there's a whole bunch of red ants, and they went into like my pants, and all.
That scene from The Mummy. Just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was screaming because they bit me so much and so hard on my ankles that they even left like little like scars.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no. And I'm like rolling around on the floor. And Olli starts freaking laughing.
I just
while I'm
remember
in
Olli and
pain.
I watching Erica,
We had
and
no idea
Jeanette
what
was
was going
like,
on.
Jeanette's like slapping her pants, Eric, because she sat next to her in the seat, and Erica's just like kicking her shoes away, and just flailing around, and Olli and I are just like laughing.
I was in so
Like
much
honestly, I
pain.
thought it was like a spider, and you just like freaked out about it. Like I didn't know you were being attacked in that moment.
She freaked me out as soon as she started screaming. I was like, I'm getting out of the car. And we all just like, we're outside just shaking everything out.
It was
So I
the
wanted
worst.
to avoid anything like that.
Thank
If
you.
you walk quickly, it's fine, but like
It's really funny though. Olli, the first time I ever saw Olli, he was pushing a car up a hill, which I was immediately like, "Wow, this
Was it
guy's
my
a
bus?
badass." It was. He was helping out somebody. It was outside of the doll hut, and I just saw like he was helping push somebody. You don't remember this at all?
it wasn't
You-
me. I
It
feel
was
like
wasn't you.
it was a random person.
It was a random person.
a random person,
yeah.
yeah.
You just like
we were me and my friend were pulling up to the venue, and this guy's car was stalled in the middle of the road. I'm like, let's help this guy out.
yeah.
So we pushed him up, and we're like, well, we're
Yeah,
here already.
we
anyway,
were
so.
we were just like waiting around like when's a man gonna show up and do this because like we can't do anything, and then like this big like manly man came up and pushed the car up the hill, and we were like thank you, and that was it. And then Olli came and he was super fun, and we talked about dorky stuff, and he likes some fucking video game, man. Good dude.
Oh, yeah.
And so okay, real quick also, I was watching you last night. What bass do you play?
I use the PRS,
PRS.
Kingfisher.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it sounds. Is that a 5-string?
It's a 4-string.
It's a 4-string.
Yeah.
Okay.
he
It's a
plays
little
it like
beefy.
a 5-string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. So now, so all of that happens, and you get Jeanette, who is like, you guys are so blessed because before Jeanette, Brandon was his name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon was also a phenomenal drummer.
Yes.
Like, I don't understand how you managed to jump from one phenomenal drummer to another. Like he was great and he was a really, really good drummer. But then like you have Jeanette, who has like these crazy drum videos for Capitol Records and all this other shit. Like, what the hell is happening in LA? Like, you guys are getting these awesome, legit drummers. Like, I don't know, it's awesome though.
Well,
Good
a
for
lot,
you.
a lot of prayer has definitely went into it. I got to definitely say that because
Definitely on both sides,
Yeah, on both
too.
sides. Yeah, because when Brandon left, like that, we were all happy for him, but that we were like, damn. So as
We
a
were
band,
dreading,
yeah,
like,
we
looking for another drummer.
exactly as a
Like-
band we got together and we prayed about it, and then this one decides to get all cocky, which was great.
Well,
So
because like being smart.
I was hoping so much that you guys would take that as a joke. I really was.
No, I did.
It was too obvious. Like, who's gonna be that bitchy?
But
I
Like,
loved it.
Say
you
that
knew
word.
that though.
No, I did. I looked and I was like, "Oh, you actually like do stuff. You're a real drummer. Like you're not just some random chick."
You
going
need
up
that
saying
though.
crazy stuff.
In order to get someone's attention, you have to kind of like smack them real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah,
And be like, look
and-
at this. You know
Whoa.
what I mean?
and that's what happened.
So obviously it worked. So good job.
It was
that attention
one
grabber.
way to do things.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because in any normal situation, we would have like gone through a list, we would have posted it up, talked to people we knew, like trying to see, like
Yeah.
find through channels who was like looking for a new band.
Now, how long were you a band as Golly Gee Whiz?
A couple years.
4 years.
4 years, I think.
Oh my
4 years
God.
with
Yeah.
Golly Gee Whiz,
Yeah, it was fighting constantly because we went through a new drummer like every
All the
6
time.
months.
Like we probably had about 8 or 9 different drummers as Golly Gee Whiz, and there was always something wrong. Where
Like we would teach them the songs, we'd play a few shows, and we get to the point where we should start writing again, and then it just stopped working
Yeah.
out every time.
So Golly Gee started in 2012?
yes.
I think so, yeah. Huh.
2012
Oh, technically 2011.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It was around September, October when we were
Yeah.
talking
Now-
about it. Yeah.
Now moving into Frequency Within, what
That started at the end of 2014 when we met. We played our first show. We like kind of wrote a few songs and just like jammed it out. We just remembered it was at Jeanette's house in the following January 2015, and literally we wrote the whole Blissfullmess album, recorded it before June, and went on tour.
Yes, hashed it out and did a
Like
tour
Wait,
we
wait,
just
cycle.
did all of that
But-
immediately.
I met you guys as Golly Gee Whiz
Yes.
in July of 2015?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was because it was at the Doll Hut, wasn't it? That was
That
our
was-
first
that
show.
was the
no,
very
it was,
end.
No, it was
That was
4th Street
segueing
Market.
into the
that's
Fourth Street
true,
Market.
Was it
yes.
2015?
That was 2015.
We've known each other too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was 20. I was gonna say, I was like, what? Have I been in a band longer than I thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2015. Got it. So now,
Then
It-
we released the other thing. That was 2016.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Frequency Within, it seems like everything got a facelift. Not only did the name change, but it seemed like the attitude changed. Like everything just kind of got put into high gear. Is
Yeah.
that
Yes.
right to say?
Definitely.
Well,
like, what happened?
Well, with Golly Gee Whiz, we were still trying to find our sound. And once we did, which we were like, let's go harder with this, and we're older now. So from what I hear from like the people who have listened to Golly Gee Whiz and now listen to Frequency Within, they're like, you guys sound more mature. We're in our mid-20s. I mean, I'm in my mid-20s. I don't know about these guys. They're old. But we have some life experience, which you can hear in the song. And also, this is something we for sure now know. We're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. Yeah. So we decided, let's take this seriously because this is it. Like, we need to be signed. We need to do this stuff. Like, in order to be able to afford a mortgage, well, we need to do these tour cycles. And that's when we started taking ourselves seriously as musicians.
Yeah, Golly Gee was originally started like we just wanted to make music together.
Just have
and
fun.
we did. And it was really great. And then when we said Frequency Within, all 4 of us sat down and were like, what do we want out of this? What do we want to do? And basically music's our lives. So we just have been doing and continue to set goals to, make that our everyday.
Because we were all sick and tired of doing the 9-to-5 job and going home and crying ourselves to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Of course.
For real.
Yeah, I know. The cycle of adulthood.
Erica's
It
not
really-
doing that anymore, though.
Oh, yeah, I just quit my job last Friday.
Good for
So
you.
jealous. So jealous.
There's a... I think about that kind of stuff a lot, like how there's a Frank Turner lyric. He has a song called Photosynthesis. It's like one of his real popular songs where he says, a maturity is a wrapped up package deal, so it seems that ditching teenage fantasy means ditching all your dreams.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about how, like, look, man, like, I'm an adult too, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to just suddenly give up on everything that I'm in love with just so that I can follow what's expected of me or what's the path of least resistance, I guess. Because it works. There's proof all around us all day that working hard as a musician works because that's what we're influenced by. And there's new albums released by these people who are making it work every single day, and we don't know who they are, and we're constantly getting it. So it's possible. It can happen. But it just, because I guess it seems so, because you don't clock in and clock out, it seems so unattainable and so like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the easy route. Like, well, before I even decided, like, oh, I'm going to quit my job, it wasn't just like a off the wall thing. Like, months have passed by and I told myself, okay, if we get signed by a label, then that will be the true sign. I need to do this. So that holds true. Like, when I was talking to one of my mentors, like, because I'm a photographer as well, and I told her my plan, she was like, yeah, clocking in from 9 to 5, that's the easy route. If something scares you, but you love it, that means you're doing something right. And just that fear is going to put a fire under your ass and you're going to just go full blown with it.
Yeah, there's a chasm that you have to jump, and you just have to close your eyes, grit your
And just
teeth, and
do
really
it.
hope that you land on the other side. But if you don't try and jump that, you're always going to be on the other side looking down and looking
Yeah.
at the other side wondering what would have happened if you did.
That's true.
So it's like you just kind of have to go for it and understand that if you hit the bottom, it's not like it's not just a bunch of like spikes and death at the bottom. Like, if you fall to the bottom, you can just take a ladder back up and you can try something
Try it
differently.
again. Yeah.
You still went somewhere and you still learned something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you're jumping over this huge cavernous hole that looks like it's going to be death, and then you find out like you fall out of a first-story window and you're fine. You just need to go back.
I like that. That's very true, dude. No, that's
Like,
very
you
true.
can- Like the mundane 9 to 5 will always be there, and you have job experience, you have life experience. There's no reason why you can't get any job that you like want to do, unless it's some kind of like, doctor or something. Like,
I want to be a stripper next.
yeah. Well, that
Plan B.
So like, there's all of these things that you can do. Like, that life is always gonna be there. So why not spend this time chasing all that
Yeah,
stuff? You know
I'm
what I mean?
young, and the time to fuck up is now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, the first half of your life is fucking up. The second half is dealing with it.
Yeah, exactly. Living with those decisions.
I don't think you have to fuck up to get anywhere. I think you just have to learn from things not going so well.
How well do you know me?
Yeah. But at the same time, though, I mean, you're a music business major, right?
Yeah,
Ish.
I've been going to school for it. I've taken all the classes I can take without like going to a specific music school.
Got it. Well, I mean, so it makes sense that you're coming from the rational, pragmatic, well,
Yeah.
actually, you don't really need to fuck up. You just have to follow all of these steps that I learned how to do.
Well, like nothing's black and white with music. You know, you never
Yeah.
know where everything's gonna go. You just have to work hard and constantly learn. Like if there's anything I've learned from any of these music business classes, just to like learn everything you can, meet a lot of people, and then just work hard.
Yeah, that's what's great about the podcast is every single week I just meet people who tell me how to do stuff, and I'm like, all right.
I'm taking notes
Write
over
that
here.
down.
Like, yeah.
And then eventually maybe I can do something with it. But so yeah, it's super fun. So, Blissfullmess.
Yes.
How many of those songs were ideas that were tinkering around or old songs from before? Because I know I recycled a lot of stuff when we changed bands as well.
Yeah.
Like,
So two songs?
Yeah,
two songs, which is Astrid and You Went Too Far. Those are the only ones we kept from Golly Gee Whiz that went into the Blissful Mess album. Everything else was written like for that album. So it's basically like the new
got it.
stuff.
Just
Yeah, because I love those songs. Like they hold a special place in my heart.
Definitely, of course. Has your songwriting process had it changed at that point from before?
Yes, most definitely. Like instead of me just because before with like Golly Gee Whiz, they'd be like, hey, we wrote something. Okay, I'm just gonna throw some random lyrics and then we're gonna go for it. Fun party kind of lyrics, like we're gonna have a blast. Like touch my body lyrics. Like there's a song 24/7 that I can't seem to get out of people's freaking minds.
But that means it's that catchy.
It was pretty
that
catchy.
fun. People loved it.
The lyrics were basically touch my body.
But
But
those were the only lyrics, right?
those were the only lyrics actually. So with Frequency Within and Blissful Mess, like I wrote about experiences like, heartbreak, just everything that was on my heart that I was afraid to ever tell anybody. Well, I'm going to tell the world on that album. So if you listen to that through, you'll know what part of my life that's about.
Yeah, and even in Golly Gee Whiz, I remember you being very candid about that. Like knowing you and meeting you afterwards, I was like, wow, she's actually like kind of conservative in these ways. Like she's not like as wild as you expect her to be on stage. And I remember you saying things on stage, like not to say you're standoffish or anything like that, but you're very nice and you're very like you're sweet and you're not super vulgar and crazy until you get to know each other or whatever.
Yes.
But but I remember on stage, when we played together at the Copper Door, I remember you saying something about like you were angry that someone like called you fat or something or one thing or another, or you used to be the size of Jenna, like what the fuck happened or whatever.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I'm talking
remember
about?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not gonna say who specifically, but
That's brutal.
I remember all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I remember that, and like even back then, you were very very upfront about like, this song's about like me drinking my problems away, or this song is about like someone calling me fat or whatever. Like I don't know, I like that. I guess I like how you are open about these things, but you're also not like holding court and forcing all of these people to live. Like, because there's some bands who they play 15 minutes of songs and then they just talk 15 minutes about the songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember. I don't like that stuff.
you managed though to walk this perfect line of saying, here's a quippy line that's really fucking deep and depressing about what the song is about, and then here's the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that your writing style may have changed, but you're still just as
Open about it.
Genuine.
Yeah. Is that like your one real kind of avenue to express yourself through? Because you're not super like.
Yeah, because like I can hide behind my band. That's how I always tell people. I can, for some odd reason, I have a problem with being like so upfront with like how I feel when I'm like talking like face to face to somebody, because it just scares me. So that it terrifies me because I'm afraid either they're gonna judge me or they're gonna just get hurt by it. And I'd rather, for me, I'm the type of person like I'd rather somebody hurt my feelings than me hurt their feelings. So I'll just take it.
Totally.
But
Same.
when it comes to my band, like I feel like it's an open platform for me where I can just say whatever the fuck I feel like, and I have them to back me. Even though I probably should ask them if they back me up on this.
No,
But-
we all love you.
It is true though. It's kind of like it's almost like cathartic. This is where you put all of those things so that you can go and have a fruitful and like a life where you're able to actually interact with other people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is where you put all of those things. So that makes sense. So now, as far as Blissful Mess, like where did you guys record that?
Oh, that one we wrote everything so quickly, and we recorded it like actually tracked everything in Culver City at our friend's studio. Like in the back of his house, he like built this like room that was completely separate. I think
A
calls
suspended
the
room.
Culver City Music Factory.
Yeah.
Over there, and then we had our other friend Peter, who's at Overboard Recording, do the mixing and laying some extra stuff for keys and doing things like that.
And he's amazing, by the way. Like, honestly, shout out to Peter because he has been our rock when it came to like albums, and we always run stuff. Well, I always run stuff through
actually,
him.
on top of that, he's actually been taking our photos lately.
Oh, and he's a photographer.
Nice.
He's
super talented.
He's amazing. I absolutely love him. Like, I just love everything about this man, and oh my god, I can talk this whole podcast about him.
Every
But
band-
just shout out to him.
Every band needs that one like skeleton key guy who just can do everything.
And that's him. That's for sure him.
That's awesome. So you guys recorded it with him. How long did the recording process take?
We did everything so fast. We finished tracking within a week, and then Peter was mixing it on his like off time, and he'd send us like a mix, and we'd be like, this sounds good, or what about this, and he added some things in. I think we had it all done in less than a month.
Less than a month, I would say.
Yeah, I think it was like 1 day for both drums and bass.
Wow.
I think you did like 2-3 takes maybe of all the songs.
Right.
You did
Same.
drums in 1 day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the bass. We did
And bass. That's crazy.
I was there at the end of your bass
Yeah.
tracks, and then when she left, I did drum tracks, and then I did the bass tracks. How many songs are there?
7.
Like 7 songs on there. So
Cool.
I think I was done in like 3 hours.
And then the next day,
Yeah.
we did guitars and vocals, all of it together.
Oh my god, those vocals! I must say, like, doing vocals all in like 2 or 3 days, my voice was ripped
Well,
up.
on top of that, she
by the end
started
of that.
smoking again during that
Oh,
short period of
Well,
time.
But I had a method to the madness. The reason why I started smoking again was, of course, because I was a little stressed out, but 2, because I wanted to have that really raspy, like just voice to it.
Yeah, that, like, just
And
dirty
this
sound
dirty sound
naturally.
to it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick up smoking again to get this out.
It was literally that week.
And that week I did, and then we toured here to Arizona, and then my smoking got out of control.
do you think so? It's interesting. I didn't know that smoking cigarettes immediately affects you like that. I thought you
It
had to go
does.
through like the first stages of emphysema before it
I don't know.
it starts to affect your vocal cords.
It dries my vocal cords out.
Okay,
it's
got
so
it.
bad. So
when
that's
you're
why
talking, it's not as bad.
it's
But singing,
but
is
singing
like,
it because I'm like pushing so hard is like you can hear it's kind of like it sounds gross, but it's kind of like a glottal kind of thing going
yeah,
on.
I understand.
So I really wanted that in Blissfullmess. Only in Blissfullmess. I'll
So
never do that again.
The other easy way to do that is if you just don't go to sleep, or you just wake up super early and then use that like morning voice.
Or you could just like put a fan directly on your face.
and just dry out your face and your vocal cords.
you won't be able
Exactly.
to see, but it'll sound great.
I love when that happens though. There's certain albums like Alkaline Trio's album Good Morning was recorded while Matt Skiba was sick, and the whole album is like his voice sounds totally different. Like they were gonna postpone the vocals, but like for shits he tried it out, and it has this really kind of everything is in like key and whatever, but it's still really like I guess God, whatever you said. it's
Actually, that's what we
very-
did for our demo for Coma, which just came out. Our demo, Erica was sick. We recorded everything, tracked it all separate, and then we're like, we'll just wait for Erica to get better for vocals.
And
She's
I was like, no, this is the perfect time to do it. Like, so I went for it, and I was
you
sad.
don't have to smoke again.
Yeah, I don't have to smoke again.
'Cause
So
she was sick.
I was sick. I mean, that was
Smoking.
only for the just not even the demo. That was just for
No, it was the demo.
oh
We'll
yeah,
send that
it
to
was
you.
for the demo. So I was kind of sad I couldn't recreate that in the actual.
Because you weren't sick again.
I wasn't sick. I was healthy. So I was like, oh well, it's
That's,
okay.
Smoking is one of those things where I told myself like I'm not going to become a smoker after 24 because I started smoking when I was 14, and so I said at 10 years I'm not going to smoke anymore. But I still find myself at shows or if I'm drinking or whatever to like have a cigarette, and I stopped though. I even stopped smoking while I was drinking for a while.
Nice. Okay.
And then, I was full. I was cool. Whatever. No big deal. But I started vaping again, and then all I wanted was cigarettes. Like it was vaping was cool, but it's kind of like So, anybody here like Avenged Sevenfold?
I love Event
Okay.
Sevenfold.
So I don't want to offend you when I say this thing.
Oh, God, here it
but
comes.
like no, I will. I'll start by saying this.
Okay.
Self-titled record,
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, it
City of
was.
Evil, awesome. Song of Seventh Trumpet, Waking the Fallen, awesome. But Hail to the King, I have a little bit I like Hail to the King is the last album of theirs that I like.
Uh-huh.
I don't like anything after that, but I do like Hail to the King a lot.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
this does have something to do with smoking. So
I was waiting for the segue.
yeah, when I listened to, no, I just want to talk about something simple. So when I listened to Hail to the King, I only make it halfway into the record before I'm just like, why am I not just listening to Metallica? Like, this just sounds like a Metallica record.
It does. Actually, I do agree with you on that. Yeah.
And that's exactly how I am with smoking. Like, I'm sitting here vaping, and I'm like, I might as well just do the fucking real thing if I'm sitting here doing this.
Oh, my God.
But like, I don't know why, but for some reason, that Hail to the King record, I'm always just like, I can just be listening to Metallica right now. But for real, though, I got into Hail to the King late. I got into it when Mad Max Fury Road came out. Okay. And for some reason, the song Hail to the King just sounds like it should have been playing through the entire 2-hour movie of Mad Max.
You know, I could see that. I could totally see that.
But anyway, so Frequency Within. So so now, when did you guys start really, did you hit the road at all as College U is?
No, we didn't.
No.
We never got a
College
chance to.
We never got our drummers to get that far.
Yeah.
And we were with Brandon for almost a year.
It felt like practice for 4 years straight.
But we were in school at the same time, too.
Yes.
So the only time we would have been able to do it was the summer, and that's when he announced he was leaving. And they start school a little earlier than we do. So we're just like, well, there goes everything we wanted to do.
Now, you have booked shows under SoCal Indie Musicians even before Frequency Within was as Frequency Within. So you already knew about booking. You already knew what you were doing. Now, as far as your first tour goes, like, how did that kind of facilitate? Was that as easy as you kind of thought it was going to be? Or did that, what was the first tour like?
Well, we actually came out to see you guys. I kind of wanted it to be, I've been doing it in increments. So I think that one was about a week. And I booked a week out of town, and the rest of them I booked locally-ish, like to where we could drive for an hour or so. Like, people don't really drive further than like 20 minutes to go to a show. Mm-hmm. So I booked a bunch of shows around LA, Orange County, you know, Inland Empire, around there. And then I did a week where we came out for to like Phoenix and Vegas and San Diego, like all the way around. And then I booked a bunch of shows out there in LA again. That are far away, so not the same people every time. So that one was kind of, it was small, but I just wanted to like kind of break into that, you know, because like that's me going on the road too. It's a little bit different than just like setting up the shows.
Yeah, were you guys going back home and sleeping and then driving again, or were you staying places on the?
Well, the 1 week
when you were in
stretch,
California, when you were.
Oh, in California, I think we were going home.
We went back home, yeah.
Yeah, but we did like a ton of shows within those like couple months.
So did you just come out and play with us and then go back?
No, we came out. We went to San Diego. We were here with you, and then we were in Vegas.
That's right, Vegas. Yeah, that's right. I knew there was another date in there. You went to Vegas. Got it. So I've never played in Vegas. What was that like? Was that cool?
It's crazy.
It was fun.
There's
weird,
like the
right?
really big stuff, which obviously we can't get into unless you're like really big. And then
Chris Angel.
Unless
the
you're like
smaller
Britney
scene's
Spears or
mostly
something.
punk over there.
That's what I've heard.
And they do some house
7
shows.
seconds.
I haven't got in with those people yet, but yeah, most of the bigger venues like really don't want a lot of touring acts. They want like.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me about that. It's weird. Like, yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Fuck Las Vegas. No, just kidding. So okay, so first tour was a really easy one.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a break into that, like kind of get all of us together because it was really quick.
Aside from that fire.
Oh
What?
yeah.
Aside from that fire that
What fire?
didn't let us
California
go
was
home.
on fire.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
that.
It was the worst.
So instead of us getting home when we wanted to, it took us.
We were
like,
supposed to get home like at 5 o'clock or.
It was just literally the
like
drive all of us
4,
do
actually.
from Vegas to California to Los Angeles.
Which is only supposed to be like a 4-hour drive, but it turned out to be like a 10-hour drive.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
instead
the
of
streets
going
and stuff.
through the mountains to get there, we had to go all the way around to the other side of Los Angeles and come back around to get into Los Angeles instead of going straight there.
Go. I'm just kidding.
Get out.
Just punching everything.
You know what though? Like I always that sucks, man. The fires were insane. It reminded me though when we went and played with you guys the first time around. We were like, we've got to go to Amoeba Records because we're in LA. This is going to be awesome, guys. Let's do it. And we left at like 3 p.m. or something like that with our trailer.
In LA.
And we were staying in Santa Ana. So tell me if I'm wrong. I believe from Santa Ana to Hollywood was like 20 miles ish.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sounds about right,
like
yeah.
20 miles.
Less than 20.
took
That's
us
like 25. I think.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, you
To
took the
drive
5 freeway.
20 miles.
Took Satan's freeway right
Yeah.
there.
You know what's
And it was all construction.
That doesn't surprise us at all.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's the norm. You got
In
there
Phe-
early, actually.
In Phoenix, 20 miles away is 23 minutes.
No, it's like
Not
you
in
take
LA.
the 5 and you like sit there and
Well-
to go this mile, it's like literally like 10 minutes.
A lot of it was our fault too. We should have networked with you guys and been like, hey, is it okay for us to leave at 3:00 to go to Hollywood?
Just knowing, well, that's part of the experience. Is like
Yeah.
you kind of get to know the areas. Like now you know.
Yeah, now
Because
we
you've
know.
been there. Like I think the first time Phantom Party came out, they came with Josh's dad because they were like all too
No,
young
it's
to like
semester
rent
review,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So like they didn't have to worry about that stuff because he's taking care of it. And then the rest of the times you guys came alone, and it's just
Noel.
like
He's the
crazy,
best.
crazy
was
stuff
the
happening constantly.
When we got back, when we came home from that tour, he wanted to go with us so bad. He's like,
Really?
you sure, boys? Are you sure, boys? I want to come with you. I can't do his accent. I wish I could. But he so we're driving home, and it's like 4:35 in the morning. It's just the sun's just starting to come up, and we see this guy running down the street, like jogging, and my first thought is, what psychopath is up this early in the morning? Oh my God, that's Josh's dad. And because he's waving at us, and he's like waving like this, and he's like, "Hi, boys, welcome home." Like he's like
That's so
the
awesome.
sweetest human being I've ever met in my entire life. But before we left on that tour, he told us because he wanted to impart some kind of advice or wisdom on us, and he's like, "Remember, bring wet wipes. You gotta have a clean ass. It's important to have a clean ass, boys."
Oh
And,
my God.
Oh my god.
and we were like, "Okay, Dad." Meanwhile, I'm like, dude, I'm 21. I was the oldest, and these guys were like their late teens or whatever. And I'm like, but I couldn't imagine like being with a dad on tour. It must be fun. I don't know. I'm sure it
I
was
don't know
fun for
because
them.
I've had a lot of people come out to California, like Sunland's come out.
Yeah.
Just like mostly all ages bands coming to California to play shows, which is super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of them like will bring their parents, and surprisingly, they're really cool about.
If you're gonna go on tour with your kid, you're probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So now that tour goes along, and then in between that time, if my chronology is correct, in between release of Blissful Mess, the first tour, and the second tour was the music video.
Yes,
right?
Vindictive. We dropped Vindictive.
Got it, Vindictive. Now,
No,
what?
I think we did a second tour before we dropped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you do a
really?
second
We
tour
did
between-
two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
But
went
you-
up to San Francisco. Like we went up
That's
north.
right.
of
Ah,
California.
that's right. We did. I napped that whole time out, so I don't remember.
Vocalists are always napping.
Yeah,
on
because we
tour.
were like,
Yeah.
well,
I
we've
love
been on the
naps.
road and we want to do it more, but we.
This is our third time here in Arizona.
Yes.
Is it? I
Yeah.
feel like we've been here more times.
No. Well, we
Just-
played 4 shows because the first time we were here, we played 2 shows back to back.
Yeah, the house shows.
Yeah, it was the house show and then 51 West.
51
Yes.
West and house show. Yeah.
That was a blast.
So that's technically 1.
That was such a good show.
Every time we
Yeah,
come to
that was
Arizona,
great.
like we look forward to Arizona. Like we're like, oh man, because you guys have the best crowds. Like everybody comes out, and you guys know how to rock out. You guys know
everyone
how
wants
to
to have
mosh.
fun, you know, like-
and you don't really get that like in a lot of
Yeah.
places. Yeah, like it, and
But then
when I'm
come
up
out
on
here.
Yeah,
Right?
Then move out here already.
Yeah,
You guys have been talking. We've been talking about.
We've
this
been talking
forever.
about it. Me and
Like,
Jen has really been talking
let's-
about it, about just moving out, becoming
let's get real.
Arizonians. It'd be great.
It's. I mean, that's the thing though. Is the kids always roll out for shows out here, and people always want to mosh and have a good time. And like the show that we had last night, as far as like if I was gonna rate like from 1 being we're playing to the bartenders, and 10. Let's say, just to put it in perspective, let's say 10 was that crazy fucking house show that we
Yeah,
played.
that was wild.
That show was like a 6. It was a good show.
I loved
Yeah.
it.
But it wasn't like the fucking craziest. But that's the thing though, like if I was on tour, the show last night at another city would have been like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
But like Arizona, we're so used to people always going crazy that it's like, yeah, this is normal.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so come on, move out here. So yeah, man, it's fun. Arizona is a really cool place. So you guys did another little tour to San Francisco, and then you released the music video.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So where did you shoot that music video?
Ooh, okay. So that was in a abandoned dairy farm.
Yeah.
and
there were cows like outside doing other stuff. It's not
Ontario.
a dairy farm
Yeah,
anymore. They just have cows somewhere. So it
It was
Like cow
wild.
somewhere.
was 1,000,000,000 degrees.
Oh, it was and we were all wearing leather jackets because we wanted to look cool.
What time of the year is this? Is it
This was in the summer.
It's California, so it was like May, and it was,
It was
like
hot.
90,
It was
90
hot.
degrees.
It was
Yeah.
hot. That's
Absolutely hot.
Kay, the
And you know what?
videographer, is the one who found that that area for us. How do you say her last
But
name?
it was your friend Jeanette that like a friend
Oh
of a friend
yeah.
owns it. That she
Oh,
found like afterwards.
Just so happened, yeah. But we didn't know that after
No,
the fact.
we knew it
until-
after.
yeah.
That those mutual friends. Well, how do you say Kay's last name? I want to give her a shout out real quick.
Okay, Anagonio.
That
Is that
I'm
the
not gonna
question?
even try that.
Ignacio.
Follow her on YouTube though. Check it out. She has a behind the scenes video on her YouTube actually, and she talks all about the location.
Yeah,
And not only was it hot because it was May, but you had a leather jacket on, right?
all of us did.
Oh, you all. That's
Except
right.
Yeah,
Olli
he had a vest.
I had a vest
He
on.
wore
Kind
layers.
of
Smart.
jacket. I had a jean jacket.
Oh, that's right. Well, we all wore
I had a leather
jackets.
jacket.
We all wanted to look nice and awesome for that video, and we
was
were
hot
sweating
as
our
fuck.
balls off. So
Brought a-
that was great.
Brought a leather jacket to the dairy farm. All the cars were all the cows were having PTSD meltdowns.
Yeah, we were there all day. It was very dusty. I wore my Docs actually, and all of our gear. We came back home and it was just caked in like
Yeah.
dust, like
It
dirt,
took
because it's
forever to
that
clean it up.
I was
abandoned.
sad about that. My white drum kit was covered
It's so
in
dirty.
dust.
Ugh.
It,
No,
it
I
was
mean,
really
my
sad.
black cases were just filthy. Like you could still see it.
I don't think I ever cleaned my amp. But
I never did either.
Oh, I
my amp's
did.
from the 70s.
Remnants
so
of,
that's-
I cleaned my shit.
Yeah.
Hell no. I'm not
I love mine too much to not clean it.
I
That's the
cleaned
thing
my
about-
boots.
That's the thing about drums, though, is like you've got these beautiful shells, and they get dirty and they look bad, and no one looks at a dirty drum kit like that's so vintage and cool,
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Like, but
But
you
an
got
amp-
a super reverb or
It's
deluxe
a
reverb?
70s Fender Pro Reverb.
Pro
so
reverb. Sorry. Okay, yeah.
It's super old.
So you got exactly you got a 70s Pro Reverb like amp. You look at the amp and it's all like dirty and it's like that's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
But drum kits, everyone's like, the fuck is
Ugh.
this person doing?
Clean your
Ew,
shit.
dude.
Get a,
Damn.
Clean your
seriously,
shit.
Get a wet wipe or
Yeah,
something.
it's such a weird double standard for like
Right.
Yeah.
musical instruments like that you don't think about.
Totally. No, it's true. I've gotten on Austin so many times about his drums. Where I'm just like, will you buy a better drum kit, please?
We've said the same thing, and I'm like, why don't you have cases for your drums?
I love that boy so much. I can know. He knows. We've talked about it. We love
He's
each
awesome.
other. He's the best. So now when it comes to the music video, and I'm sure, and I have a feeling that a lot of this has to do with you, Jenna. That music video, like, could not have been hyped enough. Like, that was like, I was waiting like 2 months for the release of that music video. And there was like a
I think
release
it was
show.
kind of all of us because we recorded it so long ago in May, and then Kay went on Warped because she works for AP. So she was like, "I'm so sorry, I don't think I'll have it out in time." We're like, "Dude, no problem. Like, get it to us whenever. We'll release it later." And we set a release for August, so we've already been like waiting, like
We're waiting a while
to get it out for a while. So I think all of us kind of really.
We were excited
We
about
wanted
it,
to be
yeah.
big because we were tired of, we don't want to play locally so often. Like, we love playing locally, but we definitely wanted to like tour a lot, like almost full time,
Yeah.
basically full time.
Yeah.
But so we're like, we really want to do something big and do something awesome, and we want to do it well, and that's why we went with Kay. And then we just had a lot of help along the way. Like, Karen got us a bunch of ads, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
She was just like,
Just paying
"Hey, I
for
got these for you guys," and I'm like, "Dang, thank you so much!" Like, because like you spend all this money on like a video, and something I hear all the time is like, you should spend the same amount of money you put into recording something as you do into promoting and advertising it.
Have you ever sent your music to the people who you submit your music and then they use it for TV shows and stuff like that? Have you guys ever done that?
For licensing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking into that. That's something we're working on with the label too.
Got it. Yeah.
But yeah,
I have a good link.
that was sort of
If you
the
need some.
okay,
Ooh,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Please
Yeah.
give it to us. Yes.
Please share.
They haven't taken us, but they took my friends in Celebration Guns. They just spent months recording their new full-length album based only off the fact that their song was in Shameless and Teen Mom.
Nice.
And they just they submitted it, and the guy was like, yeah, we're not really taking submissions right now, but please submit your music anyway, and maybe it'll happen. And then boom, 2 TV shows, full album done. So it's like, I would love to do that stuff. It's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, put me in a Toyota commercial. It'd be awesome. Are you kidding? That means I get to
so
do
much
more
money,
stuff.
too. Yeah, for real.
Like, it's at the end of the day, money is like tools in a toolbox. Like I could really use all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
All of
Songwriting
it.
you can definitely make money songwriting.
Yeah, there's some people who just like their ambition in life is to just make pop music in
Yeah, well,
like
like one
studio,
of my
which is
old
good for you.
professors, I talk about it all the time. He, that I took music business classes from, he was in a band that, you know, did well when they were young and they toured everywhere. And then he's older now, so he doesn't want to go live on the road.
Totally.
And he just kind of writes music for stuff like TV shows and everything else. And
It's
that's
like,
just
Josh has
how
talked
you
about
survive.
that. Josh has been like, you know, I think I might just start making jingles. Like
Yeah,
for extra,
it's
for
something
extra
under-
money.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Record it.
not?
Why not? Like we mess around when we record all the time, or when we're just practicing. We're like, oh, like you could sell that to somebody.
Yeah, like jingles, all that kind of stuff. Like, why not? No one knows who wrote that music.
Yeah, you're like,
So,
I'd never perform that live, but it sounds really awesome for like this specific.
I know,
thing.
like who knows? Like, what if you found out? Like, you like what if Anonymous releases all of the professional musicians who've written the ads for the most
my
like
God.
hated commercials?
Oh,
So
man.
it's like the Double Mint ads or the Get in the
Oh,
Zone
God,
Auto Zone.
yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, Get in the Zone Auto Zone was was written by Chuck Berry.
Dude, I
Oh,
totally
no.
watch that. That could be like a whole like how it's made,
Yeah, exactly how it's made. I would watch
like
that.
that,
Too.
but like of how like different commercials are made.
Dude, it's really bad. I'm really ashamed of myself because we're living in a time right now where there's more amazing television than ever before. Whether it's Netflix or Hulu or HBO, AMC. Right now, TV is better than ever. Yet, I have this huge stack, or not like virtual stack, of TV shows that I need to watch, and everyone's telling me about, and I haven't gotten to see them. But I've seen every episode of House Hunters Renovation and Fixer Upper. So, like, I'm like, I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day, and I just needed to air that onto a podcast because, like, all these people have like, these lists of shows that I haven't seen, whether it's Punisher or Daredevil or Altered Carbon, and like all these awesome shows that are coming out right now. And I'm just sitting here like, no, man, I don't have time. Meanwhile, I'm like, do you want to see your Fixer Upper? And they fucking like pull the thing out. It's like the House Hunters. Like, it's really embarrassing. But yeah, anyway, you should use a song for something like that. So,
Long story short.
yeah, just like it's like a home makeover, whatever. They like move the bus, and then it's like dun 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 dun. I think that's your calling. So from there forward, I remember having a conversation with you, Erica. A while ago, last time we saw each other, which was a while. Oh yeah, which was like when I came out and hung out with you guys at Jeanette's place. Which, by the way, your graphic novel collection is ace. Like,
You have my brother to thank for that.
That's her
it's
brother's.
That's not my stuff.
insane. I was like looking through here. I was like, there were some books in there where I was like, I thought I was the only person who read this book. I had no idea. Like, holy crap. So when we were staying over there, you had kind of talked to me about kind of the direction that you guys are taking next. Like, yes, you found your sound as it may, but you have some kind of cool ideas for where it's going to go next. And Coma is definitely kind of the... Here's my assumption. My assumption is that Coma is like the toe in the water as far as whatever's about to come next. Like, it's like it's half Blissfullmess, half what's coming. Is kind of what's happening?
You nailed it. That's
Okay, cool.
basically what it is.
I'm really excited.
It's just kind of to give our fans a little taste of what's to come.
Yeah.
We are, as you hear, we are going heavier. We're going a little darker, and we're gonna actually just plunge into the darkness and just want everybody to be just sad and depressed with us.
Yeah.
Like how did you feel after listening to it? Because we listened to it. We've heard like a couple friends, but we haven't really heard people's like response yet.
I would say it's textured. It's very like there's a shape. It's shaped. There's a shape and there's a texture to it. It's not so much like it's dark and it's heavy, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like a banger. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't like, I don't know if I would like, maybe I would mosh to it, like, but like it's more like you're kind of always waiting for it to get really crazy, but instead it just drags you through this like depth of like kind of darkness, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really good, and I can tell because you and me talked before, and I don't want to let any cat out of the bag or anything, but the term that you used to describe your music was like, you referenced Depeche Mode,
Yes.
and I was like, absolutely.
I
do
love
this.
Depeche Mode. Yes, like we want to put some more like backing tracks and more like electronic stuff behind us.
Yeah.
Make it more creepier. Make it more just kind of feel
Yeah.
like.
Like, did you feel like creeped out at all? Like, what was your
A
feeling?
little bit. A feel. Sorry.
Yeah,
feel.
feeling.
Sorry, feeling. Brooding. I guess I would say it felt kind of brooding. It felt kind of like.
Did it make your heart hurt?
It was. I was. Like, not hesitant isn't the word, but like
Okay.
anticipation. I had like anticipation.
Like, you got a little anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yes,
a little bit.
that's
Yeah.
what we were trying to like
Like,
portray.
we want you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
That's
we
our
wanted
end goal right there.
to make
Yeah.
people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So the like, what is like? Where did you guys record? Let's talk about Coma then. Where did you guys record Coma?
We actually recorded it with Audio Mech Productions. Super cool dude helped us out with producing a little bit. And Jeanette did drums. Actually, we can start with that.
Yeah, we actually recorded drums in our practice studio, which was, it's pretty well soundproofed and all that. But and I was actually able to use all of our EV mics for the drums, which was really, really, top notch. Those are the mics that it's my first pick. First of all, they're really, really good quality, and I was afraid that Jonathan from Audio Mech Productions, I was afraid that he wouldn't want to go for that because he was already saying like, well, I'm really comfortable with my stuff.
Yeah, and he used to work for Blue, and he like made microphones and like custom stuff.
Blue, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like he has a specific stuff, but he actually went like above and beyond and like learned more about Jeanette's mics and like worked with us and definitely used all of them for everything, all the drums you hear.
He decided, and I actually wanted to take a quick picture with all my mics before we started, and I let him know like, they're all set up right now, but don't worry, I can take them down if you're really not comfortable. He's like, nope, leave them. We're going to use them. They're really good. I looked them up, and I was like, sick. So huge shout out to Evie. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
So, Jeanette, I want to talk to you for a second. So, I took drum lessons for many years. Drums is kind of, that's how I broke into music. That's how I learned how to play music, really. I was in like basketball teams, which I hated. I hated sports. I didn't like it as a kid. My parents always forced me to have like an extracurricular. So I did basketball, hated it. Eventually I refused to play basketball, and they put me in gymnastics, which was like, okay, I guess. But my hamstrings are really fucked up, so I could never bend right, and it just never worked. Eventually I found drums, and I started playing drums full time, and I started taking lessons for years, and I got really, really, really good at drums. So like, it's one of those things where, not to throw like people as a whole under the bus, but most people who don't know drums see a drummer play fast or loud or hard or whatever, and they go, "Oh my God, such a good drummer! He did a twirly thing." But like, I know drums, and you're fucking legit, like really good. Like I'm like, I was in band, like I'm classically trained like drummer. Like I've watched your videos and all this stuff. Like it's really, really like really good. And I was just wondering kind of how like you seem like someone who I have a hunch that you're not self-taught.
Did
you take lessons?
Self-taught.
Mostly self-taught, really?
Yeah, mostly.
You didn't take lessons or anything like that?
No, I didn't start taking lessons until I was in college. I took 1 or 2 lessons from Ricky Lawson in high school, but no, I was mostly self-taught. And in college, I had to take lessons as part of my major, and that was all orchestral lessons. That was marimba, that was timpani, that was just snare drum, and then eventually it was a jazz drum set. That had nothing to do with rock. Nothing. So I would say yes, mostly self-taught.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, there's little things that I guess like I would assume that because you hold your sticks lower than the average person, like you're like right, like you're a little bit like most people leave about like 2 inches like outside of their palm.
Yeah.
You hold them a little bit lower, and I know my teacher would have fucking killed me if I had done that. So I guess there's little tells that you're pretty self-taught, but I mean, obviously it doesn't matter because you're really proficient and everything sounds great. So
As far
whatever's
as, like,
comfortable.
The stick holding, that's kind of a funny story because in high school, I choked up on the stick pretty high in the drum line, and I'd always get yelled at for that. So I think I kind of overcompensated, and I'm all the way at the end, the butt end of the stick now.
Yeah.
So
No, but
whatever.
I mean, it works though. I mean, it sounds great. Everybody who's not interested in drums is like, okay, I don't fucking care where they hold the stick. Goddamn.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to say, like, as someone who grew up drumming, like, it's cool when I see someone who I can tell actually appreciates the art of drumming as opposed to just being in a band. Like, I can tell that it's a full-time, this is the art that I've subscribed my life to.
Definitely.
And I just think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
If I went to school for it, I'm pretty committed.
Yeah, no, I can tell. I think it's super awesome. Now, as far as I just had a really, really weird random memory that I have no idea why I plugged into my head, but I have to bring it up. It involves you, Jenna. I remember playing a show with you guys at the Doll Hut, and I think it was the first time that we played with you because that was when OCML was running the door. Yeah. And I remember I don't even know why I'm bringing this up. I remember you had those pants that I was talking about that were like you kind of hemmed yourself.
Oh yeah,
you,
I
like,
sewed inside.
Sewed inside yourself, and I believe they had safety pins on them. Correct?
Oh yeah. I guess
Okay.
finish them.
Literally, all I was thinking about the entire time we were together is how are you not stabbing the shit out of yourself all day long?
You know what's even funnier is, like, I was packing my stuff for this tour, and I was like, oh, I got to bring sweatpants because it's going to be cold in, like, Denver and everywhere. And I had to purposely not bring a pair of sweatpants that have safety pins in them. And they've been in there for months. And Erica, every time she looks it up, she's like, why are these here? This is dangerous.
Your hobo pants.
Yeah, and they're totally still in there because, like, something ripped. I don't know. But, yeah, there's just safety pins in some of my clothes.
I just remember being like, that would never work for me. Like, I would be a walking catastrophe.
I have no idea why they haven't stabbed me, but knock on wood, like,
They stabbed me when I wore them, so I don't know. I
Don't wear my
haven't
clothes then.
stabbed you.
Yeah, that's crazy. So do you guys have any plans as far as, like, okay, you do. What plans can you talk about as far as what's going to be coming up next?
Well, as for most of you who don't know, we just got signed by Diet Laughing Records. So now we're really excited
They've helped
to
us
be
a lot with Coma.
Yeah,
putting
they're-
this on the radio, different crazy stuff.
Yes, they're the ones who are now kind of putting a major hand on all these plans. So we'll tell them, hey, can we get on, like Warped Tour? Can we get on this? Can we get on these festivals? And they come back to us like, you know what? Yes, we're gonna see what we can do for you. And now that they're involved, yes, we're gonna work 10 times harder, but you're gonna be seeing a lot more of us because of them, because they're backing us now.
Yeah.
So they have their hands in like bigger aspects, like the bigger picture.
Yeah, like we definitely love working with them even like this early on, because I think we didn't even officially sign to them yet, and they got us our show near them and helped us set that up. And we like told them like our ideas, like they were really definitely willing to work with us on like such a short deadline with like this tour we had already wanted to do, and they definitely work just as hard as we do. And
So that's what made us think like, okay, yeah, you know what? Yes, we will sign with them, because they gained our trust with just even helping us out before the signing. Once the signing happened, then it was like they truly love us. Like it's a trip, because then they were like having plans for us months and months of ahead now. Like it's not just thinking of the now, it's thinking of years ahead. They're already planning for us for next year, and we're like, okay, let's start making these life changes. So you guys are going to be hearing a lot more of us.
yeah, we've been writing and everything.
I'm really excited. Can we talk for a second about, not to backtrack, but the album artwork for Coma, or the single art?
I love that
It's like-
artwork. Yes.
So I'm going to shout out to that guy.
Really good.
His name is
Xavier?
Xavier.
Let
Ortiz.
Olli talk
He's
about
a-
him though. It's like amazing, because you're
If
the one who
if
talk
you
to him
search
most.
Built from Sketch on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, definitely follow him.
What's the handle?
Built from Sketch.
Yeah. Sorry, we made that.
Follow him
confusing.
right now.
Because Olli's the one who noticed. You're the one who noticed
Yeah,
the artwork,
so
right?
we actually went to what's it
Just
called?
say
A
a
convention?
convention.
No, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Heroes and
Heroes
Villains
and
Con. And as we're going up and down the aisles, you know, we found this like artist corner area, and his artwork was just like, I mean, you've seen it.
It was sick.
It's amazing.
It was dark. It was creepy.
Yeah.
He does this thing with like watercolor, like with the background, and just does really crazy stuff. And that's something you don't see as often because people do everything digitally.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a different look. It's a different feel, and it was definitely very like creepy, and I loved it.
And because of the location, you know, it was mainly for geeks and nerds, you know.
Yeah, we were in San Jose.
I can say it because I am a geek and nerd, but
Sorry, hold on. Built from sketch, right?
Built from
sketch.
Found it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. See, so
Good stuff right there.
what he had posted mostly was like things that are like anime based or comic book based.
Okay.
You know, so that's what really caught my eye at first, and then behind it, he had all these like darker images, and those were the ones that we ended up buying and taking back
those
to
were
our.
his personal, like his own original stuff.
Yeah, and it's those that really got us. Like, we need to work with this guy, and
It's very nightmare-scapey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
very-
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. And we were like, well, we're going to be releasing music soon. We're not sure like when, but would you be interested in, you know, doing some like custom stuff for us? Like, I forget what, like stuff on consignment
Yeah.
or, oh God, I'm so
Yeah, I'm trying to
horrible
remember the name too.
at like what it's called. Anyway, he was like, yeah, definitely email me, whatever, like hang out. So we like hung out the rest of the weekend and like emailed him. And then I think eventually we had just the demo for Coma.
Yeah.
And we
It's
sent
like
it
our
out to
own
him.
tracking.
Yeah,
of
and
it.
we're like, okay, we want something we're gonna use for like a flyer and like this song for the like album, whatever. And we're like, just listen to this demo, and
do what
make,
you
just make
Do what you
whatever
do.
comes to your mind. Like we want it to be like the song.
Yeah.
And he listened to it, and that's basically like he told us kind of like an idea of what he had, and I was like, that sounds sick. And then he sent us actually what he made, and we're like, that's perfect. Like that's it.
He's like, you know, I can change it around a bit. I'm like, no, that's
Yeah, don't change
That's
it.
it.
It was
That's the
perfect.
one.
It really was. He did an awesome job. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Getting art from people for your art is like weird and
Yeah.
surreal and awesome.
Yeah.
But like
and scary.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a collaboration. You know.
Yeah.
This is our music, and you know, you have to interpret it. You know,
Mhm.
visually as well. And you know, he just nailed it.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
like
it.
literally the other half of music. And that's something I saw too. I watch interviews and stuff all the time, and I watched something that had to do with like gorillas, and they really like are about their art.
Well, yeah, because they're a virtual band.
Yeah, so they're like really about the art as well as the music, and it really like goes into it, and it's really cohesive, and they're really like a part of it when they're like doing everything. And I was like, I definitely want our art to really reflect on our music and be like, I don't want to just like pay some random dude to like do it. Like we were so lucky to find him at a random
Yeah,
convention we were at
randomly,
that has
yeah.
nothing to do with music. Like I was jumping
Right.
on a trampoline, and we were like watching
Yeah.
interviews for
What
like weird
It
convention
stuff.
was
this?
Heroes and Villains Con.
That just goes to show you it pays to just go out into the world
It
and
does.
experience
Oh, it
different
does.
things, and then you never know what you're gonna find.
If you're listening to this band right now and you're an introvert, stop. Like, not stop playing music. Stop being an introvert. Like, I understand you'll always be an introvert. This is who you are. Like, I completely understand. But if you are in a band or you're an artist or you really want to do something, but you just don't feel like you can go out and talk to people, and you don't really feel like you can go out and go to shows and go to events, go to festivals, go to whatever kind of conventions going on, do it. Just go. Because first of all, like, I was really introverted before Phantom Party started. And one of the biggest fears that I had was that everyone was always looking at me, or that everyone's always paying attention to me. They're not. So that should be sobering. Like, that should be a good thing to hear. The fact that like they're not, no one's paying attention to you. Just go out and meet people, because truth of the matter is the only people who are actually going to remember you or that you're going to make any difference to are the people who you physically or emotionally or psychologically or whatever actually communicate with. Like, those people maybe will remember you because maybe you'll build a connection with them or a friendship with them or whatever. All of those other people may not even remember the fucking event, much less some random person walking around. So, like, I didn't mean to go off on a crazy tangent, but, like, there's so many people who are introverts who want to do stuff, and they're just afraid of going out, or they're afraid of being around other people. And it's like, just go. You have to go. You have to meet the people, because you never know. like some dude who could have been your collaborative partner, who could have really been the yin to your yang and put you to the next level, could be walking around some convention waiting for some dork like you to run into him, and you're never gonna do that unless you leave the house.
No,
Like,
literally, that's
like what's the quote? 95% of success is showing up. Like
Yeah.
you just have to be there. Like go.
It is.
Like success is preparation meets luck. Like it's just chance and preparation,
Yeah.
but you have to be prepared. You have to be there.
You do. Like, we wouldn't even be here today if we didn't, like, randomly meet Josh on a random show that they played in California.
Yeah.
Which is, like, way far from where they live. And of all the days that we could play that venue, they played too. Like, they were just like, yeah, there's a touring band. And I remember they were so frustrated because the venue that they played, like, put them on first. And it was just, like, they had to sell tickets. It was all this, like, horribleness. But, like, we all went and we all met each other. And here we are today, like,
Yeah, just go.
still friends and
Just do
doing
it.
stuff.
Just do all the time. Go. Like, just do it. Oh, just do it.
Do it.
Oh,
do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. So do you think is he gonna come back? Is Shia
Yes.
LaBeouf gonna make a comeback?
Yeah, he
I'm
will.
ready for it.
I'm ready to.
I'm ready for
He
it.
needs to.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
More even Steven.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my God, even Stevens. That's great.
I can hear that high pitched squeal that he did.
Yeah.
Oh
That
man.
scream.
Yeah. But well, not only him, but wasn't the guy from Cabin Fever, Ryder Strong, in Even Stevens too? He was Sean, right? The
Oh
friend?
yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing
That's
Cabin Fever. That movie was
true.
crazy.
I love that movie. Yeah, the guy from Cabin Fever. Yeah, it's phenomenal. So like, so you got new music on the way. You're killing it right now. You guys have a practice space, which looks pretty cool. We
Oh, I
almost
love
we
it.
almost slept
That's
there.
our office, and I sleep there a lot. I take my naps there.
I feel like I need practice spaces. I think are cool.
Yes.
Well, like
We needed
we
it.
were always fighting with like being too loud because of the neighbors or not having enough space, and we're just like, well, we're taking this seriously, so we're really just gonna go all in. Like
Yeah.
all of us are like, we're all in, and we went in on the space, and honestly, we've never looked back. Like
Yeah.
it's the best thing I think we've
It's
done.
definitely a necessity.
Well,
Yes.
before we end the show, there's something really important. Not to like soliloquy again, but just that I want to say to everybody, or no, maybe not soliloquy, aside, whatever the fuck. Something real quick that I want to say to everybody about Frequency Within that they're, I'm sure they're way too humble to say themselves, which is that not just Frequency Within, but also SoCal indie musicians, which is that I've never worked with a group of people who have your back more in my entire life than the Frequency Within family. Like whether that's SoCal, indie musicians, or it's Frequency, whatever the case may be. Like whether you want to play shows in California or you like their music or you want to talk to them, they will always listen. They will always talk to you. They'll always respond. Like they will comment on all your shit because they know that the more you comment, the more people are going to see it. Like these are people who are always, always, always working, and they're working not to make themselves a bigger name, but to support everybody around them. And that's one of those things that's infectious. And you guys just have this thing where once someone's on your team or you're on someone's team and you guys are working together, like it's like family for life.
Yes.
Like you guys dig into people and they want you and you want them, and you're always, always, always supporting. So thank you so much for doing that. Like you're so supportive and you're always working so hard to make everybody else's dreams come true as well as your own. And like never have anything negative to say. Like I love talking shit just as much as I love like being supportive. And you guys are always just the wonderfully sweet, caring and accepting, altruistic people that I met way back in the day. So thank you guys so much for not only making great music and killing it live. Like your live shows are fucking insane. Like here's the thing, if you don't like Frequency Within's music, whatever, like everyone's different. Live, there's no one can be like, this isn't good. Like, it's such a different thing. Like you go see them live and you're like, yeah, this is good. This is great. This is awesome. So thank you guys for coming over and hanging out with us. And like, thank you for being on the show. But more importantly, thank you for everything that you do for the people that you've connected with, because everyone who you do it for appreciates it. and recognizes it. And so, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are
Thank you
awesome.
for having
so
us.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Miguel. So
Thank you, Miguel. Miguel's in the house.
the biggest, I feel really bad. The biggest getting stoked fan is here hanging out with my dog. And
Yeah, all those little weird.
yeah,
yawns
I always
that
tell
you heard.
I always
Yeah,
tell
that was
people
Miguel.
I always tell people like hit me up, man, like email me, hit me up on Instagram or whatever and talk to me. And this dude he's in Sounds Like Disco, who, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to get really real for a second.
Have a seat, Miguel.
SoCal indie musicians post a lot of music from a lot of bands, and I don't like a lot of it. But I'm just being honest. There's a lot of it where I'm like, that's not very good. And I just like keep scrolling and like whatever, because that's the thing that you guys are supportive. Everyone, I'm not gonna like everything. You know, you guys are at some kind of bar or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not into that most of the time because I'm really really critical. But Sounds Like Disco, I was like, this is fucking good. Like, this is really good.
Right.
And I follow them on all my social media pages or on Instagram and stuff like that. They're really, really fucking good. So, hi, Miguel. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thanks for reaching out to me and talking. I had no idea that you were gonna be staying at my apartment like 2 weeks after we were talking to each other. on Instagram. He footnoted it. Like we were like talking on Instagram for an hour while I was at the piercing parlor about to get my septum, and I was like sitting on the floor just like texting him all night long. And Alicia was like, "What the fuck? Like, dude, seriously?" Like, and I'm like texting like, "Oh, but he likes the podcast," and we're talking, and then like at the end he like swings in. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be at your house. So I'm happy you're here, man. I like the gorilla shirt too. By the way, we're talking about some gorillas. Are you up on? How do you feel about humans?
Not their greatest,
Agreed.
but I appreciate what they were trying to do.
Favorite gorilla song?
To binge.
Oh, I fucking love that too.
I'm a casual. I'm not so much a casual that I'm going to say Feel Good Inc., but I'm still like, I'm a casual enough. I think Melancholy Hill is probably my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
The song is good.
Yeah.
Just good, man. Right in the feels.
Yeah.
Fucking Plastic Beach was like
Plastic, yeah,
that
exactly.
was a perfect album.
How-
That was sick.
How much time do you have to spend upkeeping your hair? Because you have way more discipline than me. I can tell already.
To be honest, I kind of just like wing it.
He just wakes up like that.
Yeah, I just wake up.
No, because like, you got the color and all that
Yeah.
shit. It looks phenomenal.
I kind of just like have my cousin. She's like into like beauty like school and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like her guinea pig.
Got it.
So she kind of keeps it up for me. Yeah.
brings biggest podcast fan on the podcast, talks about things that the people can't see.
Well, no,
There
if
you go.
you look online, you'll see photos of
Yeah,
him
just-
and Erica. They're both like kind of twinsies.
Yeah, I'll like he'll dye his hair blue and I'll be like, "Ooh, it looks good on him," and then I'll go ahead and dye my hair blue, and then like he bleaches hair and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to do that too." So then I bleached my hair.
How did you guys get hooked up with Sounds Like Disco?
I don't know. Oh, I
Miguel.
know because he showed up to a show. Okay,
Yeah.
like but,
Yeah, I think I was talking to you somewhere
Yeah.
online because we're like, oh, we gotta like, because both our bands, we're kind of the ones that like go out and like talk to people and go to other people's shows.
You hear
and,
that
like,
extra-
hang
To
You
be
hear that-
honest,
do you hear that,
guys,
introverts?
I was a super introvert in high school.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't for like me being in a band, I wouldn't like
Same.
go out and like talk to people. I kind of figured like, yeah, kind of like what you guys were saying. You kind of have to go out just to meet people. And
Some people just need that force to
Yeah.
force them out
Yeah,
of
it
their
was
comfort
crazy.
zone.
He like came to one of our shows and then he's been at almost every show.
and he never left.
like
part of
he
our
came-
family now.
He came alone. If I want to put emphasis on that,
Yeah.
like props to that, because like not a lot of people will go to a show like just go.
no.
When
they
people
won't.
don't go with them, they're like, oh, my friend bailed, so I'm not gonna go. Like that's
Like our
stupid.
first conversation at that venue, you were just like, "Oh yeah, it's my aunt's birthday
I
party."
think I was like really like close to the neighborhood, and I'm like, I'm just gonna like ditch this
Yeah, I'm like,
family thing.
I'm like, wait, you left your family's birthday party for the show? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, awesome.
Yeah, man. I remember seeing they posted some live videos. I don't know where you were playing, but SoCal, I think it was SoCal, posted a video of you guys playing live, and I was like, this is fucking cool. Like, all right, here we go. And then it just so happens that person hits me up on Instagram, like all of you should do, and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going, man? Like, I love the show. So
Yeah, social media is like the best tool to like connect with people.
Yeah.
Just talk to people. Like hit them up. You never know if they're gonna respond back.
Yeah,
or-
just reach
It
out.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Just fucking.
Like they're
Hey, what's
like
up?
some of the most famous people, like Henry Rollins. I've talked to on email like 5 times because he just
Right.
always answers his email.
I think like the biggest person that like replied back. I kind of just like posted like, listening to the new DFA album, like Death from Above.
Mm-hmm.
And they
That's
like
from
replied
above,
back.
19, whatever. It's
Yeah. And they like replied like, oh, thanks for listening or whatever. I'm like, oh fuck, they fucking
Dude,
talked
that's
to me.
awesome. Did you guys
Yeah.
ever see that movie Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
Okay, so I on
course
my
I have.
on MySpace, I posted a thing to Terrence, whatever his name is, and the guy that made the guy that plays the grave robber,
Yeah.
who's also like the writer and everything, and he like responded on my MySpace and talked about how much he appreciates it. Bowling for Soup too. I talked
That's
to Bowling
so
for Soup on
awesome.
MySpace back in the day, and Eric, their bass player's lone response to me, I wrote this big like something that ran the length of a Russian novel about how much I love their band. It's like 2008, and he types back, "Thanks for the kind words, man. Turn on channel whatever it was. It was during the Olympics.
Oh, okay,
He's
yeah.
like, turn on ABC or whatever. There's women diving."
What
And I was like,
Wow.
from Bowling for Soup, that's all I could have ever asked for.
yeah.
Thank you. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Miguel, thanks for coming over and hanging out, man.
For sure.
You got to be louder, motherfucker. Like, I want to talk to you. I want to
Yeah.
get to know you. But, like, you're just, like, hanging out in the background. Yell. Let's talk. Let's have some good fucking times, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to me on Instagram. I'm calling you out right now in front of everybody. Talk to me. Let's
We'll be
have a
talking to you the whole tour.
let's have a
He's with us for the
conversation.
next week.
There you go. Exactly. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. I've got some crazy shit coming on. The next guest that's after Frequency Within. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but they're a really big deal in the local scene, and tons of other stuff. And I can't believe we made it happen. So it's going to happen. If you're listening to Getting Stoked and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I don't know who any of these guests are, don't fucking unsubscribe because it's about to get real. Okay, so thank you guys so much for listening. That's it. Get stoked.
Aw, shit, look at that. The episode's over, man. We're done. Episode is finished. Luckily, though, there are plenty of other older episodes hanging around the internet anywhere you'd like to find podcasts. iTunes, podcast apps like Stitcher or Podcast Addict for either the iPhone or the Android. My official Podbean website. I'm fucking everywhere, man. I'm building an empire. Let's take over the fucking world. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you and encourage you to please reach out and say hello. I'm serious about this, guys. I really want to connect with my listeners. So whether you want to come on the show or not, drop me a line. Hit me an email at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really, I know I harp on it so much, but it really, truly means everything. So thank you. Get stoked.